I am often asked about this, about people, when President Obama said he was going to appoint me explainer-in-chief last year, people started asking me about it. And I said, you know, when I first got into national politics, people asked me how a governor of a small state, and a very poor one at that when I was born into it, at the end of World War II, our per capita income was 56% of the national average. Almost nobody went to college. Past a certain, when you got to my grandparents' generation, most people didn't finish high school. And people asked me, how could you overcome that great adversity? I said, are you kidding? That's why I got elected. And they said, what do you mean? I said, because I was part of the last generation who was born into a family that not only didn't have a computer or a cell phone, we didn't have a television until I was 10 years old, almost 10. And the only entertainment we had was each other, and the occasional square dance and gospel singing and what have you. I mean, basically, my family didn't take vacations very much, and there was hunting and fishing and meals and storytelling. And before you told a story when you were a kid, you had to learn how to listen to one and give back what you had heard. And it was an enormous advantage because a politician was no less likely than the town barber to be in touch with the lives of ordinary people, the rhythms of their life, the challenges of their lives. My grandfather ran a little country store in Hope, Arkansas, that was in an overwhelmingly African-American part of town. And so I listened to the stories of those people. And this was before food stamps. So somebody came into my grandfather's store, and they were working as hard as they could to support their family, and they didn't have any money to buy food. He gave them the food on credit. When he died, we found his old books, his ledgers, and there were literally a few $1,000s, which was real money back then, in the 50s. He died in 1957 when I was 11, same year I played this band concert. We were tied together. Most of the people near the store lived behind the cemetery where my mother and my grandparents are buried. And they were the only streets in town that weren't paved. So when I was 5 years old, I learned a real, tangible expression of racial discrimination. It was a different world then, and I don't want to idealize it, but it does make a difference if you see people not as statistics, but as people. You can't be a neighbor to somebody until you can see them.